G'day, Steve Morgan here at Fishing Monthly Magazines and the ABT head office with another Tackle Fridays, number 17 this time. We're in the office and in Brisbane generally for the next couple of months, so we should be pretty regular with the Tackle Fridays every week from now on. And what it is, it's a segment where we just go through what's been coming in and out of the Fishing Monthly office and some just cool little bits and pieces that come in. There's some cool pieces we've been playing with at the moment that are prototypes and we can't talk about. We're going to be talking about those a little bit later in the year. But let me tell you about the things that we can talk about. Firstly, my Cranka restock, I suppose, showed up. And that's what I think a year's worth of Cranka Crabs looks like for my boat anyway. The big pile is the heavies. The little pile, there's 4812 lights there as well. Did pretty well with the light crabs down in Sydney. So I used to be just fill the box with heavies guy, but now I'm sort of horses for courses. Sometime big crabs. There are no big crabs there. The Steezy's still waiting to get those in. So if you're a tackle store and you've got those on order, got to wait a little bit longer. But the big upgrade crabs definitely a part of my kit nowadays, but also the light crabs. Just fall a little bit slower, give the fish a bit more time to grab that lure as it sinks down when you're fishing, for instance, a boat hull in deep water. So that turned up, thanks to Steezy for selling me those. Something else that's turned up that I've been waiting for ages is I found these in the Rapala catalogue a while ago. And you all know I've got a black and white boat. The white version of the Rapala Angler's magnetic tool holder is here. So this is just basically a moulded plastic ply rack or tool rack. Comes with some double-sided tape on the back. But it also has recessed screw holes in it. So when I find a place in my boat where I'm happy with it being, then I can drill the screw holes in there. But the cool thing is there are magnets in here. And just like my Tackle Titan lure holder in my boat, which magnetically holds the trebles of the lures up and keeps my lures out of the road, this is going to answer the question which we ask every time, in every day, in every barra tour, which is, where the fuck are the pliers? Nicole just turned her head there. That is the question that we ask. And I did beep out the F. So it's all good. So I get my sets of pliers. This sits in a constant place in the boat. I don't know exactly where it's going to go at the moment, but I'll try a couple of places. I'll sticky tape it on, give it a few months there, and when I'm happy with it, it'll be self-tapping screwed in there. So the Rapala Angler's magnetic tool holder, I've had that on order from Rapala for ages, but obviously they're now in stock because the guy said, here they go, they're in. You know, some people put a hook sharpening file and a pair of scissors in there. For me, it's just 3 sets of pliers, because where the F are the pliers is the most common question asked on barra tour. Does come with some little self-tapping mounting screws. Don't know how good they are. If they rust, throw them away. Get some proper stainless steel ones. People who are going to the lure show, which is Fitzy's fantastic celebration of everything Australian-made and more generally artificial that fish like eating. I found some cool things. I was going through the shipping container at the back and I found quite a few of the old state of origin Rapala baits here. So you can see there we've got Queensland and New South Wales ones. And I reckon I've got nearly enough of them to be able to give a set to everyone that buys a subscription at the lure show in a couple of months' time. We'll give you a heads up the week before it happens if you're in Queensland or northern New South Wales. If you're within like 4 hours drive of the lure show, do yourself a favour, pay the $15, go to the lure show. Awesome Australian-made baits, specials and other baits. Charlton's go there with all their specials. It's just a celebration of all things lunatic for all the lure collectors out there. So Queensland and New South Wales origin, one of them is going to be worth more at the end of the next couple of months than it is at the moment. So we'll see how that one goes there. Another acquisition we've had during the week, I can't really show it to you because it's getting filmed on at the moment, but we bought, thanks to Corey Goldie for planting the seed for us for this, but we bought the little Pocket 3 DJI. That's a gimbaled camera that we've got. It's being filmed on this at the moment. Comes with a little couple of mics. Gives us really crystal clear audio. We've got a couple of these cameras, and if you've won an ABT event, you've seen us interviewing people with this great big tripod and this tiny little camera. Well, these are the cameras that can shoot in up to 4K. Technically, you probably don't worry about it, but it just means we have a nice, crisp video and audio that we can show you every Friday on Tackle Fridays. And it'll make the tour, Fishing Monthly boat tests and ABT events, all those sort of things. And then finally, I don't usually pre-record segments for Tackle Fridays, But we had the great opportunity to catch up with Stephen Booth about some really cool new ultra finesse rods from Bone Fishing that they import. They're travel rods. Let's just let Boothy tell us all about them. Having a guest on Tackle Fridays is becoming a bit of a thing now. Steve Booth, high fives, mate. You used to work here. You're over at Wilson's now, which means you get to play with all this cool stuff that comes in and you get to see it before everyone else. But the good thing is I get to then see it before all of you guys. So, Boothy, tell us about the Bone travel rods that are the Salt Finesse LITE.
Yeah, so it's a new series by Bone, 4-piece. They come in this handy little travel bag so you can't get the pieces hurt. And it's designed for that really light finesse fishing. So things like ultralight crabbing, unweighted grubs, tinily weighted grubs like 3 grams, 4 grams, all that sort of stuff. So it's real interesting way of fishing. And the best part about these rods, solid graphite tip, which is when you look at it the first time you go, that is scary thin. But it's actually quite solid and very durable. Well,
tell us about scary. Show us what they come in this thing. Like my theory is you can fit that in your work ute, and if you knock off early and you've got a bit of a bite happen down the road, you're going fishing on the way home. You don't tell the missus you knocked off early, you're going fishing on the way home and you've got your outfit there and you can hide that in the car. But when a tip comes in that was when I was at high school. That's what a thermometer would come in that was highly breakable. But it's a solid tip, and we've put a few together and had to play with here. And this is sort of overstating how delicate it is, because they're not delicate at all, really.
But it'll stop it from getting crushed. If you chuck it in the back of the ute and it gets a few tools on it or whatever it might be, it'll help it survive. So.
Now tell us about the genesis of this sort of fishing is a style of Japanese fishing called aji fishing, which is basically a very fancy Japanese word for catching yakkers on little baby lures. But it's sort of developed, I suppose, from there to be generally finesse light species, light tackle fishing. So it might be some real small slow pitch jigs, it might be little plastics, again, it might be the little cranka crabs and stuff like that. It's a real thing in Japan and Southeast Asia, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So the Bone guys saw the aji fishing, liked the idea of it, and then developed it for their fishery. It just so happens that a lot of our fishery coincides with that. So, I can see this being, a whiting rod, a garfish rod, definitely a brim rod, that sort of stuff. It'll certainly catch all your horse mackerel and jack mackerels and all that sort of business. So
if you don't want to bait jig them, if you want to do it with $1,000 outfit,
if you want, that's it. So
for me, like the aji rods have always developed into I call them the aqua rods that I use when I'm brim fishing. So when I'm fishing, for instance, with the diver in feet, they're the same. They've got the solid tip, so you want that nice light tip to get that cast in there, but you want the strength in the butt. And even though they're called finesse rods, these have got a bit of sting in the butt of them. Like they're a very, very light, high modulus carbon fibre. There's more pull in them than you think. So for the brim guys, definitely this is sort of the classiest travel rod I think I've seen.
Yeah, and Bone's travel rods are well known for being probably best in class in Australia. I got to say, when we put them together, it was one of the few times I've had a good play with them, and I was genuinely surprised at the heaviest one, how much poke it had in the back end. So you're stopping most of your brim and you're actually having a lot of fun along the way.
It's interesting to see Wilson's dabbling in the brim fishing side of the market. You've always been good on the offshore stuff, the barra stuff you're big on, of course. But you've picked up that brand duo. We took them to Tassie. We did that Tassie Tasmanian Teams Open down there. Gave everyone a nice selection of duo baits. And man, not only did they use them that day, they used them for the rest of the Tassie tour. Big brim on the Derwent, caught on one of the baits that we gave out at that Tassie Teams Open. So it's great to see you getting right into this niche of finesse bread and butter fishing that some of the other companies might have a bit of a head start on, but you've definitely got some product here to do it. And the question I've got to you is, since it's Tackle Fridays, do I get to take one of these and give it a go? Only a borrower.
Only a borrower. Well, I do have all 6 models here, so we'll have a go through them and I'll let you have a play with one and get some feedback directly from one of the guys who knows how to use it.
There you go. See, unscripted questions. See, you put him in the spot. It's like, no, they're all my samples. You can't have any of those. So
can't say no on camera.
I don't have to leave it here this afternoon, but would definitely love to use it for some of those techniques, especially that Eco Gear aqua fishing. That's what I would start with, and I would move outwards from there. I know Bone's a great guy. We've had him on the Barra Tour before. He's sort of famous for catching big, mean snakeheads and evil sorts of fish. Really cool to see him on the little light stuff here. Yeah, I'll have to give him some shit about that at after.
Oh, 100%.
So there you go. When are these released after or in the shops now?
No,
What's the deal?
they're available now, so we've just had stock arrive. Now we're just working out how we bring them to market and what they're gonna sit in.
So yeah, it sounds like you've got all this stuff and you don't really know what to do with it. So here you are.
That's why we talk to the guy who runs the comps.
Awesome. They're called the Salt Finesse LITE, LITE, by Bone Rods. And if you're a tackle store, you can get them from your local Wilson rep.
That's it. Perfect.
So that's it for Tackle Fridays this week. I hope there was something there that floated your boat. We'll be back next week with another Tackle Fridays.